Hello, I'm Snowball, and you might know me on my channel for making music, but I also study city planning in university. And one of the things I'm really inspired by is just these like grand master plan communities and how people are able to visualize them. And I like to do that through games. So over the past few months, I've made a city called Suikerdam, which is Dutch inspired. Basically, in a friend server to just have fun and build a city that I would like to live in. The reason why I chose Dutch inspired city is mainly just because I recently was on a study abroad program that took me to a few different places around the Netherlands. And for a Texan, this was a really big change of pace because a lot of these cities are built to be human scale. And I just love the architecture, and I really wanted to show that off in Minecraft. So this is one of the main reasons why I created the server. There are also many other places in the server that have a lot of work put into them, but I'm mainly going to focus on this area simply because I've put in the most work into it and I know most about it. So here I am in a creative world, and this is actually from the same seed. As you may notice, it looks very different even to the natural looking areas of the world. So basically, this project involved a lot of terraforming in order to get a flat city because a lot of Dutch cities are flat because of their geography. And I also just wanted an even level to build a city because I really like the central island here, but it's not exactly the best place to put buildings and a town hall and a cathedral. So here I am at the central plaza, and one of the main things you'll notice when you look at this map down here is you can just see the extensive pathways of canals that I've built to basically represent a Dutch city, and also because it's just easier for boat transportation. Right now, all of my canals are at the same level, but I want to in the future make them at different levels because that's historically accurate, since most Dutch cities use canals in order to basically change the water level so they can reclaim land around them. While we walk along these canals, you might notice the bright red brick paving down here, which is actually a cycle path. And I included these because a lot of commuters in the Netherlands use bicycles as their main form of transportation. And usually they're by roads, and in this example, a lot of mine are along the waterways, which may not be entirely accurate, but I wanted the inner part of the city to be car free, which means that I needed a place to put the cycle tracks, and I think this is a pretty place to put them. Coming back to the central walking path, we have the Suikerdam City Hall, which is one of the first buildings I built in this area. As you can see, I actually included these walking paths underneath, so it would be easy to get from the main area right here to the train station behind, which we'll see later. So this building is basically just 3 stories up and down of office space that I want to eventually build out, but right now it's pretty empty. And this is actually my main area right here where I have all my storage and stuff and where I build on all my projects. Ignore the rich area over there. And then I have my dog over here, Violet, who I love very much. At one side of the roof, we actually have this little mini rooftop garden. And then over here, you'll see that I included some solar panels. And I actually did this through commands, which, since I'm the server owner, I have access to. And I give myself a rule of if it's aesthetic, then I'll allow myself to do it. But if it gives me any sort of like actual gain, then I'm not going to allow myself to do it. So the center island down here, with both the city hall and the cathedral, has a lot of green space, as you can see, as well as a tram actually going through it down here, which goes to the train station. You can see here a little like mini pond I made with a little tree swing, and then I also wanted to make a landmark, and I did it with this, which I called the 5 Day Monument, and I wanted this to be a little part of history because it represents the 5 days that Netherlands was under siege from Nazi Germany during World War II. So here it is. It's the big build that I've worked on for a long time. This is the central cathedral. And I basically built this over the course of a few weeks. And I used some building guides and a lot of my own like previous knowledge of like Minecraft stained glass and stuff. And it's a lot larger than I anticipated it being. And I think one of my main struggles now is just figuring out how to actually fill the thing, uh, and if I can make it historically accurate, how I'm going to do that. Also, at the top of the cathedral, we have this center spire that is currently the tallest building in the entire town, and will probably be that way for a while. While some of the areas of the city might look pretty empty right now, it's basically because there's a lack of buildings. And that's a problem I've recently been trying to fix by building some. So here, I actually built a little bakery shop that I wanted to build just because it's cute. And one of the things I want to do with the city is that I want most of the buildings that have commercial to have like housing on top of them to be mixed use because that's the way a lot of buildings are. So here's just like a little example of a little house I've made. And this was the first building I worked on for the city. And then over here, you can see that I have a few others. And I'll go through all of the commercial areas in them one by one. So this is a donut place I made called Voodoo Donuts, which is inspired by a donut shop in my hometown. And I have a silly little menu here with chocolate donuts, vanilla donuts, strawberry donuts, cookies. Don't worry about that. Eclair and water. And I have a little kitchen in the back. And yeah. And then here's my next one. And I wanted this to be a little hotel, and I made it like Christian themed because of the giant cathedral next door. And it also kind of looks like a church. If you actually go up into the main part of the building, you'll see like a traditional like room, like beds and stuff, like I built in the other ones. But at the top of it, I also wanted to include kind of like a hostel-y capsule type hotel. So I made these little beds, which each have their own chest over here. And so I wanted to think realistically in how some people might want a cheaper way to visit a city. So I just included this and all the signage with it. So this is the central grocery store that I made, and it's just a basic grocery store with a bunch of items. Um, and up here, you have a little area with all the produce and stuff. Going across here, we have a bar that I built, and I wanted this to be really unique because I used copper, and I actually did not have the resources available to wax all of it. So I'm just kind of letting it oxidize and hoping that it looks good when it is oxidized. But I wanted to include a little stage here because I think it's cute. And if I ever wanted to like go into the mic while I'm streaming with friends, then I can and play a little song for them. And then I have beer now, have beer now, because you have to have beer. You have to. And then going over here, we have this. I made a little embassy because I had another server where I built a Nordic themed town, and I wanted to connect them. And I have like information on how to join the server, and then also I have a bunch of flags that one of my friends made. And then going around here, we have the last building I've made so far, which is a little note box store. Sorry, note block store, and I have all of the different types of materials. Well, at least most of them, because I'm still trying to get some of them. And then I also have this little display here, which if you flick it on, it's a little drum beat. So I didn't actually intentionally make it sound like a Radiohead song, but it totally does. So that's something I did, I guess. So behind the city hall, we have the train station, and I wanted to make this very like open air to match a lot of like Dutch and German train stations that I saw in Europe. And so I made this grand open spaces with like an underground walkway to get between the platforms and some areas I want to eventually make shops in over here. And I actually have a railway that's around 2 real world kilometers that goes from all the different major areas in um, the server so far. So I'm going to show y'all a sped up version of me going along the railway because it's actually mostly complete, which is not something I can say for the city yet. So Starting off, we go from the main station to the south side of the city, which I just called the Cathedral station because it plops you up right next to the south part of the cathedral. And from that, we quickly go to a station that is kind of surrounded by wilderness, but I called it the southwest part of the city because eventually that's what I want it to be. Because right now, because I want to expand the city a lot further. So the next station here is this little rural station that I kind of modeled after like rural train stations in Europe, and I built it next to some friends' houses that they built there. And this is definitely the longest stretch without any stations. So it's I actually converted it to um, rail that's elevated because I wanted it to resemble Chicago's rail network. Because I went there once and I want to go there again soon, and I really admire their way of quickly building rail in the 1900s. And I just think that a lot of people view it as an eyesore, but I think it's really beautiful. And the station that we're pulling into now, I also modeled after the L network. So, when we get off the station, we're put near an area that is a little farmhouse I built a long time ago. And I basically wanted to make it kind of like a little mini commune where everybody in the server can access it. So I have this little house here with a bunch of crops and all the main types of trees. And yeah, it's a little quaint little seaside area as well. Oh god, they're loud. So here we are at the spawn platform, and I made this little platform basically where spawn is, and I have all these little signs that say places you can go following these paths. But for now, I want to go up here, and I want to show you the first thing that I ever built on the server, which was just this small little house. And I basically decided from here that I wanted to build a city, and I went out way that way looking for a good flat area to build one. So this is where I started everything. If we follow this other path, which was really well made, by the way, we can see some things that some of my friends built in this server. So you can see in in the distance, there's this huge wizard tower, and also I believe sometime around here, you'll see a giant goat pen that was just recently built by one of my friends. Oh wow, I haven't seen it recently. It's really pretty. Um, but up this little hill here, you'll see a bunch of different types of trees and like just a really pretty path. And we have like a bunch of farming stuff, bunch of little critters around, and yeah, this huge tower up here, which is so sick. I'm kind of jealous. So around 500 blocks past the spawn house, we have this amazing little place that another one of my friends made. It's in a cherry groves biome, as you can see, and it's just so well made. And there's this main house over here, and just look at this. Like, come on, I wish I could build like this. I also invited another friend in the server who decided to join, and I'd known them for a while, and I thought I trusted them, but they ended up making this. So, yeah, thanks. Thanks. You know who you are. So this is an area around 400 blocks north of Suikerdam, and it's being worked on by a friend of mine who wants it kind of be a like a trade center, which I'm really excited for. It's still kind of in progress, but there's a lot of fun areas to it, like this really pretty house up here. Let's see. Oh, she is gorgeous. And then if you look down here, there's like a little dam thing, which looks cool. So, coming back to Suikerdam, some of the things that I'm thinking about for the future is I really want to have more level to a lot of the buildings because right now they're all around 2 blocks above water level. And while the Netherlands is flat, it's not exactly that flat. Um, I also have a lot of ideas for parks. For example, I think that this area right here, as you can see, it looks a lot like a heart, and I kind of want to make it into a heart and maybe add a little place so like people in the server could get like married on Minecraft because that'd be cute. And just in general, I want to build more smaller buildings to make the city feel a lot more connected. I also want to make sure a lot of the things that are terraformed, like over here, because this is really bumpy terrain. Thank you for watching this little video about this town I've been trying to make for a while. If you have any suggestions for what I should do, definitely let me know. Um, Other than Minecraft, I'm actually working on some new music. So if those of y'all who are interested in that, be tuned because I'll have new music out, including like covers and original stuff. I'm really excited to show you guys. But thanks for going along with this little tour. I might make another like update, maybe like a few months or a few weeks from now. But I might also just be done with Minecraft for a while because I can't really predict what I'm gonna like spend all my free time doing. So thank you for watching. Bye bye.